Hi everyone, I'm Ariel Cooksey, host of Malice. When violent acts occur, we tend to think the predators are monsters. Surely no human could do such things. But if we're honest, only humans commit malicious crime. And if you're like me, you want to know why. To find out, join me at Malice, wherever you listen to podcasts. Bye.
The Oracle Network. Look deeper.
This is Dos Pequeños,
a funnier look at the paranormal in New Mexico.
with your co-ghosts, Eric Carter Landine.
And Alex.
What's up, Alex?
Hey, Eric. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I am really glad to be recording with you today. It has been a long couple of weeks for me. And just want to say thank you to all of our listeners that sent condolences and all that. That was very sweet. Things are getting back to normal now. But I am on a mandatory 14-day quarantine because I went to Texas to go be with my family. So we are doing remote recording.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just playing it safe.
Yeah. So if the sound quality sounds a little bit off, that's probably why. We're not in the same room right now. But it sounds pretty good so far. So
I was going to say, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll carry through.
Yeah.
A couple of announcements. So we want to welcome our newest patron subscriber, Jackie. Jackie is a fan of the pod, and thank you so much for your support. It means so much to us. We could not produce this show without our supporters and our subscribers. So thank you, Jackie.
Thank you.
What other announcements do we have?
I'm glad to be recording again.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. What other announcements do we have?
We want your Sasquatch stories, your Chupacabra stories, right?
Yeah, that's coming up.
Yep. We want you to tell your friends about us. Yeah. And if you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/dospequeños and you can subscribe. There's bonus content. There's going to be outtakes, some merchandise, all kinds of cool stuff that comes with being a supporter of the show.
I think we might be recording something tomorrow or tonight.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Extra special bonus episode thing.
Thingy.
.com.
.com.
Okay, cool. So today we have a pretty popular, maybe even famous location that we're talking about.
I think it's famous.
I mean, it's one of the first things I've heard about when I moved to Albuquerque in terms of places that are haunted in this city.
Yeah, I think actually me too.
So for those of you that are not from New Mexico, let me just set the scene for you. We are talking about a historic building here. It's I'm not going to give away too much of it, but I just want to kind of let you know where it is. So Albuquerque, downtown, you want to say high rises, but like I said, that's a strong word. There's a couple of very large buildings. Our downtown is pretty small, but it's actually pretty cool. Have you been down there recently?
You know what, man? I haven't been anywhere recently. I don't go many places anymore, but I kind of remember going downtown. I used to live downtown area, and I used to work down there in a couple of different places, so I've spent a lot of time downtown.
So something that's happened over the last couple of months is this crazy explosion of public art that's happened all over downtown, and there's murals everywhere. It looks really cool, and they're all so well done. So one of the guys I know that does a podcast here, he's Chris from 10 Drink Minimum. He did a little cool drone video of all of the art downtown while he was riding his power scooter, and it's really cool. I might actually share that on our Facebook page so people can check it out because I thought it was really well done.
Riding a scooter and flying a drone? That's talent, man.
It might have been a GoPro. I don't know. It was cool.
It was cool.
Yeah.
That seems
It was
kind of
really
fucking dangerous.
yeah, it didn't look like there was anybody out there, but I thought it was a fun thing. Oh, another thing that I wanted to talk about, there is a new podcasters co-op podcasters guild being formed here in Barelas.
That's right.
It's called the Barelas Podcasters Guild. We are going to be part of it as well, which is going to be really cool because they're building a studio and we're going to be able to use that studio to record in. So a lot of local podcasts and some local advertisement that's going to be coming through from that. So that'll be really good to contribute to the local economy that way. And I'm super excited about it. We're also going to be offering classes on how to podcast and how to market your podcast and all those kinds of things. So that's going to be... We being the guild.
Okay.
Yeah, not like, you and me. Although I might do a class on podcast marketing.
Hey, man, you know what you're doing.
Well, I pretend I know what I'm doing sometimes.
Hey, man,
but I'm excited.
Works.
I'm excited about this. This does not mean that I'm not going to be with Oracle. We're still going to be with Oracle. They're still our network, but we'll be supporting local podcasters in the community and helping drive some more local podcasts, hopefully, to be developed here, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun for the future here.
Yeah, man. Listen local, buy local. What else? Something else local. Eat local.
Eat local.
Yeah.
Stop going to other countries and other cities just to eat.
Well, I think
you don't need to go to other states just for dinner. You could eat local. Eat local.
You don't have to fly your food in from France. Yeah. It's okay. All right.
I mean, if we get to do that, awesome. But we're going off a little.
Okay. Weird. All right. Let's just jump into this shit.
Eric.
What?
Hey, man, I have a haunted building here in Albuquerque that I want to discuss with you tonight.
Okay. What is it?
Quite a famous spot here, and apparently is considered quite haunted. The building I'm discussing is in the heart of downtown Albuquerque. The place I'm talking about, of course, is the Kimo Theater. What do you know about that?
Oh, dude, I am so excited to talk about this. I've been wanting to do this for a while. It's definitely one of the places that, when I first moved here, was one of the first places I heard about being haunted in the city. And I'm super excited to look into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it's one of the first places I remember, too, it being like, that's the spot. And I just remembered like saying, wait till you see the inside of it, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
It's quite beautiful. Actually that building is beautiful on the inside. So don't get me wrong in any way, but it does have somewhat a kind of a dark mood to the whole place.
Yeah. It's a little spooky.
It is a spooky place.
It's a little creepy. The outside's pretty too.
Mm-hmm. Well, what is it? Well, the Kimo Theater is an actual theater. It is a beautiful historic landmark here in New Mexico, and it is located on the corner of Central Avenue and I think 5th Street or 4th Street in the middle of downtown. And it was originally constructed in 1926 and opened its doors in around 1927. So that's a year for a fairly big building. It has a beautiful and very interesting kind of an Art Deco Pueblo style architecture and is known as a Pueblo Deco.
Cool.
It has many decorative motifs from the indigenous cultures from the area, and it combines the beautiful art and symbology of local native tribes with the Art Deco vibe, which makes it super unique and beautiful. And if you are curious about the way this theater looks, but you live far away, you can do a virtual tour on the city of Albuquerque's website, which we will post a link in the show notes. The theater itself opened in September 19th, 1927 at a cost of $150,000, which is an equivalent around $2.2 million in 2020.
Dang.
So that's a lot of money for a building. Well, I don't know how much buildings cost, I guess.
Well, I think that back then that was a lot of money probably for a building. And I mean, you can tell that they didn't really cheap out on it, the way that it looks and the way it's held up. So the theater opened at a time when silent movies were all the rage in America. It was also host to many famous stars of the age, including Ginger Rogers and Vivian Vance. Do you know who Vivian Vance is, Alex?
I have absolutely no idea.
So she played Ethel in the classic sitcom I Love Lucy. So she was
Oh,
Lucy's
okay.
best friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she has a history in Albuquerque, actually. She left her home in Kansas. Her parents were super religious, super strict, and she wanted to be an actress, and they did not want her to do that. So she pieced out of there, came to Albuquerque to start her career, which like,
In
yeah.
Albuquerque?
Yeah. Which like, who knew that Berkeywood was a thing in the 20s, right? Like that's kind of crazy. She started performing at the Albuquerque Little Theater and then eventually at the Kimo. And that's really where her career began. And then she went to New York and started doing Broadway and all that stuff. And then the rest is history. There was a few years ago, there was an exhibit at the Albuquerque Museum, which is like the art museum in Old Town.
Right.
And it was all about her life. It was just really cool to see that and to follow her like through Albuquerque and how that kind of launched her into becoming an actress. I don't know. It's amazing. Anyway, sorry. I got distracted. Let's get back to the Kimo.
No, let's talk about I Love Lucy more.
I always do that shit. I always just kind of veer off course.
No, that's okay.
So the Kimo is filled with art. There are medallions and icons on the outside that represent different tribes and different cultures in New Mexico. But there's also these amazing hand-painted murals that were done by an artist named Carl Van Hassler, who was a good friend of the person who built this building. And what else am I missing about the art, Alex? What else have you noticed about the art in the Kimo?
You know, one of the things that I really noticed there, and it's because it's front and center, but around the stage, there's little lights, and some of the lights, like, I don't know, like there's a cow's skull with red eyes that, you know, they're all around the whole thing. And and it just looks so spooky to me, man.
Skinwalkers?
I don't know. But it's just kind of weird, like lighting, I guess. I don't know. I think it looks cool, but you definitely notice it. You know, some of the art there, I can't think of it off the top of my head. It's been like a good 5 years since I've been there.
Yeah.
Maybe 4 years.
Maybe the glowing eye cows are like a little Illuminati nod.
Illuminati? Is that a thing?
I don't know.
You know what? No, not the Illuminati. We know that's a thing, right, guys?
Come on.
We should do the Denver airport one day. We should do that.
Well, apparently there's like all these tunnels that go like all over the country, and
probably
some of them
Los Alamos too.
Yeah, and some of them intersect here. I don't know if it's true. It's all conspiracy. We'll find out.
I don't know. Anyway, I digress.
Yeah. Again, let's talk a little bit about the history of this historical gem in the heart of the city. The Kimo Theater was the ambitious idea created by one of the first Italian-American community members in Albuquerque. His name was Oscar Bacecci. Bacecci lived to the ripe old age of 68, and he was married to Maria Franceschi Bacecci, who surpassed him by passing away at the age of 94. Bacecci was already a successful businessman when he and his wife started the ambitious project of constructing a moving picture theater in downtown Albuquerque.
Moving pictures, you say?
Moving pictures?
They have moving pictures.
He owned a bar and then a liquor distributorship and then a grocery store. So he continued to kind of build his little empire in Albuquerque, and his wife Maria helped him run that grocery store. He soon became involved in the movie business by running a movie theater with a business partner, but he wasn't happy with just an old run-of-the-mill movie theater. He had a grandiose vision.
This was the age of gaudy design over the top of gilded buildings. Everyone was trying to outdo one another, though. Bigger was better, and more was definitely more. According to Antonio Garcez, this over-the-top theater was something Bacecci wanted to create to stand out among the Greek temples and Chinese pavilions of contemporary movie mania. And that was, he said that in 2018. Bacecci selected Carl Bowler to help him design the perfect theater. Carl was famous for creating over-the-top theaters all around the U.S., and he traveled through New Mexico visiting various pueblos and tribes for inspiration. The theater itself is 3 stories, in keeping with other architecture of the city, and the facade of the building was and is coated in stucco. It is very characteristics of the native pueblos, as well as having recessed spandrels and a very Art Deco look at the same time, while displaying icons that are sacred to the native cultures of the area still.
So I know that if you look at the building, you'll see a bunch of different symbols. Like you'll see a thunderbird, you'll see a rain cloud, and you'll also see a swastika. And so for people that
I don't think that's called a swastika though, right?
It's not called a swastika, but that's the word that we have in the English language for it.
Right.
And so I want to talk a little bit about that because people might get confused by it. The swastika is widely used in Native American cultures and probably most used by the Navajo. And it really represents healing and life and prosperity and all these other things. And so that symbol was taken and bastardized by the Nazis. But when this was built, and even today they still use the symbol, it didn't have that meaning.
Right.
So I just wanted to say that because like some people can get confused if they're not from here and not realize that.
I actually heard about people here that were talking about trying to get those things removed.
It's not the same thing.
As of lately, and I was like, no, that's different.
It's not like Nazis went and put that up there.
Right. Know? It's not glorifying those shitheads.
It's honoring the native cultures, which I think is a good thing. All right. So anyway, in June of 1927, the Albuquerque Journal had a contest for readers to pick the name for the newly constructed theater. And what was the prize? A whopping $50, which in today's dollars is $740.80. So not bad. You could buy a lot of stuff with $740 back then.
I'd be happy with that much right now.
Yeah, me too. So the rules were that the name had to be in keeping with the truly American theater, whose architecture is a combination of Aztec, Navajo, and Pueblo native cultures, and it had to be an Indian name. The name must not have more than 6 letters. So the big winner was the governor of the Isleta Pueblo, Pablo Abeta, and his idea for the name was the Kimo, of course, which is a Tewa word. It's actually 2 words. That translates in English to mountain lion, or more literally, king of its kind, which was fitting for this grandiose theater. Like it was over the top, different from any other theater in the country. You know, they had all these other types, the Chinese pavilions and the Greek, whatever. This was completely different. And I think the name was fitting.
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too. The theater opened on the 19th of September, 1927, like you said. The first show was a group of Native American dancers and singers, as well as a comedic film called Paintin' the Town.
Oh, let's go painting the town.
Let's go paint the town. And also, there were a few songs that were played on the $18,000 organ that they had just received and installed.
18 grand.
Which I didn't look up.
It's an expensive organ, I would think.
Yeah, I didn't look up what that is in today's dollars, but I'm sure it's a lot.
Right, because back then that's a lot of money.
Heck yeah. It was a big deal in the community, and the event was even attended by some dignitaries that night, such as senators, state and tribal governors, and a certain chairman of the city commission named Clyde Tingley. So we've heard his name before, right?
I have.
Yeah, well, we heard his name mentioned in the Albuquerque Press Club episode.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And Tingley's a thing here. We have Tingley Coliseum, Tingley Beach, Carrie Tingley Hospital.
Everything tingles in Berkeley.
That's a t-shirt.
That's a t-shirt.
Also, I feel like we should point out that Tingley Beach is just a pond.
It's a cute little fishing area.
It's a fishing pond.
Or you can ride little paddle boats.
Yeah.
Which I never see anyone doing.
No, I'm surprised they don't get stolen. Anyway, okay.
What would they do with them? Take them down the fucking Rio Grande, eh?
I gotta go to Socorro real fast. Hurry up, pedal faster, stupid.
It's a goose. We can only go so fast.
I'm all tired already. You should have bring some water.
Eric.
What?
The theater in 1970 was leased for a few years by Albuquerque Music Theater and then started showing porn. We actually had a porn house here in Albuquerque back in the day.
Holy shit, dude. I had no idea.
Yeah, just chilling downtown. Regular old porn house like New York City back in the day. Kind of creepy building for a porn house, or I don't know, maybe not. I mean, I guess if I was going to a place that like had cow skulls peering at me with red eyes, maybe it would be a turn on.
If that's what you're into, then I guess that's cool.
Weird 70s porn house. I ain't trying to yuck anyone's yum.
Yeah. I had no idea that even happened. That's amazing.
No, I didn't either.
And it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it is central. Unfortunately, the Kimo had two rather large incidents that affected it in different ways.
Because it was a porn house? Sorry.
The first was all the porn. So on August 2nd, 1951, as theater goers were ready to watch the Abbott and Costello film Coming Round the Mountain.
Coming Round the Mountain. Oh my God.
That was a porn. That was a porn.
That was a porn. Coming Round the Mountain. Sorry. Abbott and Costello.
Yeah. Hot. So while people were waiting to watch the film, a water heater exploded in the lobby. And this sent debris consisting of plaster, glass, and scalding steam flying into the air. 8 theater patrons were injured, and unfortunately, one was killed. But we will get to that in a little bit.
Dude, can you imagine waiting to go see an Abbott and Costello film and getting blowed up?
Yeah, that would be...
Getting blowed up. God.
You're gonna have a bad time.
What a bummer. What a fucking bummer. I came here for a good time. I came in here for a giggle. To see the damn moving pictures.
A giggle and a wank.
Whoa. That wasn't until the 70s.
Oh, sorry. Whoops. Okay.
So a giggle and a wink. That's a shirt.
I'm keeping it in there.
Don't keep that one in there.
I'm keeping it in there.
Well, just see how it sounds.
Have you noticed how I do that shit all the time? Where you're like, take this out, and I just leave it in there.
That is
all
funny.
right. So then, in 1977, a fire erupted, and the building was soon in disrepair. The city of Albuquerque quickly offered to buy the building at a very cheap price, or if that didn't work, they were just going to condemn it and demolish it. The Bicecci family decided they couldn't bear to see it demolished and decided to preserve the theater for people to enjoy for many years and sold it to the city of Albuquerque.
I wonder how much of a loss it was. You know what I mean? Like, as far as money is concerned, they put in $150,000 into building it, right? So, like, I wonder what they actually ended up selling it for. But so that's cool that they decided to preserve it, though.
I'm glad they did, because it's a really cool building, and it would have sucked to lose all that.
Yeah, now my kids can be creeped out by the skulls.
The building has seen many different phases of restoration to return it to its beautiful original state. It's still open to this day, and there are shows and performances and even films sometimes that play there. It can currently hold up to 650 people, and all that's perfect and great and wonderful, but you're probably wondering, like, what the fuck, Eric and Alex? Why are you talking about this shit on a paranormal show? Well, I think Alex is going to start getting into that now.
Cue scary music. So, apparently, this theater is haunted. It is alleged to be haunted by the ghost of the 6-year-old boy named Bobby Darnell that was killed when a water heater exploded in the lobby in 1951, like you were saying. So, Bobby was watching a documentary with his 3 friends, and he was only 6 at the time, and I guess the documentary was about the U.S. Naval Fleet. The official story, according to the Albuquerque Journal, was that the kids were frightened by a loud siren that was in the film, and this caused Bobby to run out of the theater. And he was chased by his friends, and unfortunately, as he ran out of the theater, the water heater actually exploded, seriously injuring and eventually killing the young boy.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Poor Bobby.
Poor little Bobs. The story goes that during a performance in 1986 of A Christmas Carol, a ghost had interrupted the performance. There were allegedly lights exploding, and cast members were showing up late to the show, and even people were being tripped and pushed during the performances. Why did he interrupt it? He was pissed, and he was pissed because the staff was told to remove all the donuts they had hung up for him backstage. Okay.
What?
Yeah, okay. Let me stop right there and explain this. There are rumors that as time went on and the theater productions continued, strange things started happening. The rumor is that often cast and production crews would be gifted donuts and coffee, and people claim that when they returned from the stage that they noticed several child bites taken out of them.
That was just somebody's like shitty kid running around taking bites out of their donuts.
That was just stagehand Phil. The guy working the
he never got his
moving
adult
pictures.
Teeth. He only has baby teeth in his mouth.
Yeah, he only has baby teeth. And just put the creepiest picture in my head.
You know what I thought of? I thought of a scary movie when the guy's like, "Take my
strong hand.
Strong hand."
I'm gonna take little bites of your donuts. So everyone just started saying, "Oh, it must be the ghost of Bobby tasting these donuts." Obviously, right?
Right.
It's probably the ghost, and this created a long-time tradition of cast and crew stringing donuts up on the water pipes to appease his ghost.
Okay, but can we just say, like, it probably was somebody's shitty kid, and the shitty kid was probably the one like, "Oh, it's Bobby's ghost."
Yeah, and now you have mice and rats.
Do you have ants?
You have ants like crazy.
That's how you get ants.
But they believed that doing so would allow them to have a good performance, though. It's kind of a good luck thing.
Yeah,
so
okay.
It is this thing of theater lore, you know. I can only imagine the smell over time, but you can't fuck with the ghost donuts. I mean, I wonder if they take them down after some time, or do they just stay up there? Like, do they have some of the original ones from 85 or something?
I don't know, but if you fuck with my donuts, I'll cut you.
I will stick you deep.
I will stab you, bitch.
Well, see, and that's why no one wanted to do anything. They were too scared of something occurring.
So, needless to say, the rumors that the director quickly returned with donuts after this debacle, and they started to return those extra donuts to the backstage water pipes. Allegedly, the crazy ghost activity stopped once the donuts were returned. The theater even created a small altar for Bobby's memory halfway down the stairs, and the altar has toys and sweets left for him as well.
Oh, I'd love to go check that place out, man.
Yeah, we should do that.
That'd be a good spot.
So,
have they seen any ghosts?
Ghosts! Let's talk about some ghost sightings.
Cool.
So there are so many rumors about the Kimo Theater in the community, and it really has become a significant urban myth. Any local will likely tell you the story of the donuts and little Bobby creating chaos during productions when he feels disrespected or angry. I wasn't able to find much in the way of actual eyewitness accounts, but there are a couple. A reminder to all of our spooky friends, please send us your stories, especially about the Kimo. We'll include them in a mini episode that we do soon. Also, make sure that you go and vote on our social media polls on what we will call the mini episode. So there was one story in an interview in Anthony Garcez's book, New Mexico Ghost Stories, Volume 1. So he did an interview with the administrative assistant for the Kimo Theater. Her name is Jewel Sanchez. She started working at the Kimo in 1979. And she claims to have seen a woman dressed in Old West attire as she was walking to the restroom. She noticed one of the hallway lights was out, and then as soon as she saw the woman, she vanished. She also alleges that she once saw a boy in a striped shirt and jeans running up and down the stairs. He also vanished just as quickly as he appeared. Jewel believes that she saw the ghost of Bobby, the boy who died from the water heater accident. In his book, Mysterious New Mexico, Benjamin Radford investigates the claims of paranormal activity at the Kimo Theater, as well as other famous haunting and paranormal sites in New Mexico. And in his book, he spoke with a lighting technician who went into great detail about the famous tragic production of A Christmas Carol in the 1980s. The tech's name was Dennis Potter, and Dennis claimed to have been there the night of the performance and allegedly witnessed and confirmed everything that was rumored to have occurred at the Kimo on that fateful night. There's even been claims of people hearing children laughing when no one is in the theater, sound of footsteps when nobody is walking around, as well as claims of props moving and falling on their own during productions at the Kimo Theater. So all of that's kind of non-specific. I haven't really found anything. Like, I looked on Reddit, I looked online, and really the only stories that exist are this Christmas Carol thing and then Jules Sanchez's account. And that's basically it.
Yeah, I didn't find too much on it. For being such a, that's what kind of surprised me, is because this was like one of the first places I heard of when I moved here about that was a haunted spot, and that there's like nothing that I could find really about it. So really, though, if you guys do have some stories about it or something you've seen there or felt there or whatever, let us know and we'll put it in a mini-sode on Spook Story. We'll do something like that with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say.
What?
But there are several problems with the story of the Christmas Carol production. The first of which is the fact that people recall it happening on different days. Jules Sanchez claimed that the curse production occurred in 1974. Other accounts claim that it happened in 1988. And this starts to cast doubt on the credibility of the actual entire tale. Radford investigated the claims of this event to try to corroborate or validate what was being said about the cursed performance, and just started to dig a little bit beyond the surface of the story, and it starts to fall apart. Looking at the fact that the Kimo was playing X-rated movies in the 70s, it's not likely, according to Bradford, that there was a production of A Christmas Carol playing at the Kimo that year.
I mean, unless it was like Sexy Christmas Carol.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the ghost of Christmas winking.
Christmas wanking. He also you're going to be visited by the three ghosts.
One of them's a hag.
Oh shit.
One of them's a mouth breathing hat man.
Just standing over you and watching. One's a hag. He spoke with the director and shut your face. He spoke with the director and the actor who played Bob Cratchit and found that neither of them experienced any of what was claimed. According to him, he feels that this could simply be a case of misremembering. According to him, he feels that this could be simply a case of misremembering and the exaggeration of the public that created this urban legend, which continues to be retold to this day. All in all, though, it is a good story, whether it is based on reality or not. What happened to Bobby was tragic and sad, so it makes sense that he would want to attach his spirit to this building. And it kind of gives us hope with some afterlife.
I'm sad about that because that was the story that I heard pretty early on when I moved here, and I thought it was really cool and fun story. Pissed off donut ghost. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that.
I'm gonna mess with your set.
God damn it.
I'm going to make your actors late.
Touch my donuts and I will push over a prop.
Say I won't. Say I won't. Don't test me.
So I'm still hopeful that we can get an actual corroborated account of paranormal activity. It's a little sad to know that the most famous story of the Kimo ghost has been debunked.
I hate saying that too. Like, I don't necessarily want to debunk it myself, Like I feel like we've done that a lot on this show so far, as we've kind of been like, doesn't sound legit, but shit. I mean, how can you say it is though? When I haven't seen it, I need to see some stories. I want to see some pictures, some proof.
Yeah, something. So I guess with that, you would have to say, or I guess with that, I would have to say, if you ever had a paranormal experience at the Kimo Theater or anywhere else in New Mexico, we definitely want to hear from you. We love your stories. We love using our voices to speak your words out loud into your ears. But seriously, we want your firsthand accounts of hauntings and other weird shit. So yeah, you can slide into our DMs or email us at spookenyos@gmail.com.
All your weird shit.
Don't forget about our Patreon. It's patreon.com/ Dos Pequeños. There's varying levels of support, and there's a lot of cool shit that you get for it. Don't forget to rate us on your podcatcher. Don't forget to subscribe, review, and share our show with your friends. Help us get the word out about this show. We're getting a lot of positive reviews right now, and it's really inspiring us to keep going and keep providing content for you. Thank you so much. We might as well thank Jackie, our patron subscriber, again. So thank you, Jackie.
Shout out.
And thanks for listening.
Stay spooky.
Peace.
Bye.